I've got 5 major news stories you need to know about today, so let's jump into the news. The Clintons might actually be in trouble. President Trump shares one reason he was never going to bow down to the Schumer shutdown, and I actually agree with him, and I'm grateful for his courage. Also, is the $2,000 tariff rebate check real? And did Antifa attack Turning Point USA last night? I'll show you the video. Thank you guys so much for liking these videos. Let's jump right in. All right, I want to start with a big story happening right now. Breaking news, AG Pam Bondi and FBI Director Kash Patel have reportedly submitted documents to Congress revealing the Clinton Foundation took donations from foreign and domestic sources seeking influence. Officials told Just the News that the documents were transmitted to the Senate Judiciary Committee in recent days and detail numerous instances of foreigners and even a U.S. defense contractor seeking to curry favor with the Clintons through donations to their family charity, including when Hillary Clinton served as Secretary of State. Bill Clinton was a U.S. president from 1993 to 2001. The officials said some of the evidence was flagged by whistleblowers who claimed such evidence was kept from a corruption investigation that was being conducted in 2015 by the Little Rock, Arkansas U.S. Attorney Office before it was shut down by the Obama administration's Department of Justice. Wow. Okay. So this is big. The Clintons might officially be under investigation. I'll continue to keep you updated on this. Let me know in the comments. Wouldn't that be amazing to see that come to fruition? I, for one, would absolutely love that. All right, there's a lot of reasons that the government was shut down by the Democrats, mostly to try to collapse the U.S. economy, which they might have done. They're saying there might be 50,000 less jobs on the jobs report because of Democrats. But Joe Scarborough over on MSNBC said it took him a little bit, but he's now figured out why the Democrats were trying to shut things down. Listen to what he had to say.
The Democrats is they took crime off the front page of every newspaper. And that was the story. And they turned it into health care.
All right. So what he's saying, remember before the shutdown, every day I was telling you guys about crime and how Democrats were letting criminals out. Every day we were finding out that people were being killed, R-worded, violated, horrible, horrible things. The illegal immigrants, they were in the news every single day. Well, it was making Trump look good. It was making ICE look good. It was making the Department of Homeland Security and Border Patrol look good. So what did they do? They had to bring in something else, a Trump shutdown, in order to get crime off the front page of the mainstream media. Now, I think he's onto something there. What do you guys think about that? All right. Now, yesterday, the Senate passed a bipartisan funding bill to end the longest government shutdown in U.S. history. This began on October 1st, supposedly over Obamacare subsidies. President Trump called the New Deal very good and said he would sign it immediately. That is expected to happen Wednesday or Thursday at the latest. The new agreement funds the government through January 30th and includes full back pay for furloughed workers. It reverses the firing of 4,100 federal employees, including critical cybersecurity staff, and fully restores SNAP benefits through September of 2026, protecting food stability for 42 million Americans. Wow, isn't that amazing? Reopen the government, SNAP gets money for an entire year. Now, 8 moderate Democrats broke ranks with the Democrat Party to support the deal, securing a Senate vote on ACA subsidies before December 31st. That vote will need 60 votes to pass. However, Republicans are saying, we've secretly been working on something to replace Obamacare. As soon as I know more details, I will bring those to you. Now, progressives are furious. arguing the deal lacks firm protection against premium spikes. President Trump sharply criticized the current subsidy system, claiming that it funnels trillions of dollars to insurance companies. He wants direct payment to individuals and is pushing new price transparency rules to lower healthcare costs. Now, 1,500 flights were being canceled on a daily basis. Understaffed agencies, unpaid workers working for free. Markets rose on news of the breakthrough. While Democrats warn of future uncertainty, Republicans celebrated fiscal discipline. Trump declared, "We're reopening the government. Relief will be immediate." Now, many of you have been saying, "Stephen, why aren't you covering Trump's proposed $2,000 stimulus or rebate check?" My simple answer is, I don't like to give false hope, and I'm not convinced that he's going to be able to get it done. But let me just break down what we know so far. President Trump dropped a big idea, a $2,000 tariff rebate check for everyday Americans. Over on Truth Social, he said this would be like a dividend from tariffs collected, though high-income earners would not qualify. But before anyone gets too excited, the plan isn't official yet. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent says no proposal has been submitted and that U.S. Congress would likely have to approve the money. Now, according to CNN, Trump has collected $220 billion in tariffs. However, in order to give everyone a $2,000 check, they need $326 billion. So he's $106 billion short. Likely, this will end up at the Supreme Court, which is where Trump is fighting for the tariff program to continue. Now, if President Trump relegated these stimulus checks to lower income families, then yes, there is a possibility that this will go out. But if they give it to everyone but the rich, this needs more clarification. So I just don't want to do clickbait videos or give you guys any false hope. So right now, I'm just telling you, I don't know if it's going to happen. However, Stephen Miller says President Trump is fighting behind the scenes to make it happen. So let me show you that. And then you guys will just have to make your own decision on whether it will happen or not.
$1,000 tariff dividend. Is that something the president's going to push hard, or did he say that off the cuff, or what?
No, it is something he's going to push hard as part of his economic plan. With the record revenue that's coming in through tariffs, as we lower corporate taxes, as we lower business taxation, as we lower personal income taxation, we're able to now get more and more revenue through foreign imports to power the Treasury and to be able to give rebates to the American people. It's all part of the America First economic plan. Make America the cheapest, easiest, most effective, most efficient place to do business with the least intrusive regulations, the most affordable energy, the most streamlined permitting process, the greatest emphasis on innovation, and collect revenue from foreign countries that are importing their goods into our country, which will secure our supply chains.
All right. Again, you guys are going to have to decide. I just don't want to give any kind of false hope. I think if he gives out checks to everyone, it's going to make inflation go up. This was the problem under Biden. But if he just gives it to middle income, lower income, under a certain threshold, it will actually make the economy do very well. It wouldn't be from printed money. It would be from tariffs. So I'm encouraged. But again, I don't want to give anybody false hope. All right, now, inside the Republican Party, tension is growing. President Trump publicly attacked one of his biggest allies, Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene, in an Oval Office press conference. When asked about MTG's recent complaints that Trump is focusing too much on foreign policy instead of affordability and domestic issues, President Trump said, "I don't know what happened to Marjorie. She's a nice woman. I don't know what happened. She's lost her way, I think," and then accused her of catering to the other side. Now, some of this came from the fact that Marjorie Taylor Greene says, stop giving money to Israel, stop fighting foreign wars. If you say you're an America First president, focus on America first. Well, what did President Trump announce this week? His number one focus going forward is going to be affordability. So I hate to see division between these two. Now, she said in an interview with the Daily Mail, I haven't lost my way. I'm 100% America first and only. Green recently went on CNN and The View. What did she say? She's America first and wants to get out of foreign conflicts. So I think that, again, I hate to see bad blood between the two of them because I like both of them. But Marjorie Taylor Greene, she doesn't seem to have abandoned Donald Trump. She just wants his focus to be laser focused on America and not foreign nations. But let me know your thoughts down below. All right, back to the shutdown. The Senate advanced a revised funding bill. Every Republican except Senator Rand Paul, who wants to ban hemp, got on board. Now, this would end the 41-day shutdown. It would fund the government through the end of January. It would get SNAP money to 42 million Americans. It would fund veteran medical care, military construction, and Congress through next year. It would also give back pay to all furloughed workers. Now, Senate Majority Leader John Thune called it a clear path out of the crisis. Susan Collins said, we are going to reopen the government. The bill allows the Senate to vote on ACA tax credits apart from this, but they have to do it before the end of the year. Also, the bill bans Chinese-made drones, provides $19 billion to the military, $41 billion to rural developments, and reimburses SNAP and WIC so that women and children can get food. Now, it now returns over to the House of Representatives, where Speaker Johnson says they're hoping within the next 36 hours to vote and get things done. Now, Obamacare is the main reason for the headache we've all been living through. Democrats openly admit it's broken, it's not working. But what do they want to do? Instead of fixing it, they want to throw even more taxpayer money at it. Listen to what was said over on CNN from Ana Navarro and how Scott Jennings, one of my new favorite people, counters her pathetic talking points.
Going to hear horrible stories. People are not going to be able to afford their insurance. I don't think even with subsidies, they're going to be able to afford the premiums that are hiking up 100, 200, 300%.
Wasn't Obamacare supposed to fix that?
When people, no, well, not without the universal. I mean, there's
Affordable Care Act.
Yeah,
Affordable was the first
listen,
word.
the Republicans have been chipping away at the ACA, and I think this is going to be the death of the ACA, but it's also going to be the death of some Americans who don't go get screenings, who don't get diagnosed early enough in order to get treatment, who go in and instead of being stage 1 cancer are going to be stage 4 cancer. And we're going to hear horrible stories because Americans are going to choose to drop health insurance that they cannot afford. And we as a country have.
All right. So she admits right there, Obamacare has made your life 300% more expensive. Scott Jennings says, affordable is the first word in the Affordable Care Act. She then says, listen, this will probably be the death of the ACA, but people are going to die. People are going to die because of you, right? I mean, the reality is Obamacare is a failure. What they need to do is make insurance affordable for everybody, right? And then the government probably needs to take on the least healthy among us and have a pool just for them. And then reopen things. Let the private market come in. Entrepreneurs are what drive down prices, not government. So this needs to definitely be addressed. But as of right now, they know that Obamacare is a turd, and we just need to flush it down the toilet. All right, now, President Trump said if the government is going to help with health care, then it should help the people, not health insurance companies. Let me show you what he shared over on Fox News about this, and let me know whether you guys agree or disagree.
Well, I watched Obama from when this thing came about. Yeah, as you know, I opposed it very strongly. Unfortunately, we had a couple of negative votes, which should never have happened. But I said it's going to be a disaster, and I was exactly right. The premiums have gone up like rocket ships, and I'm not just talking about recently. I'm talking about for years they've been going up. And he said premiums will go down. Everything will be wonderful. It's horrible health insurance at a very high price. And what I want, and probably what you're alluding to, is the fact that I want, instead of going to the insurance companies, I want the money to go into an account for people where the people buy their own health insurance. It's so good. The insurance will be better. It'll cost less. Everybody's going to be happy. They're going to feel like entrepreneurs. They're actually able to go out and negotiate their own health insurance. And they can use it only for that reason. That's the beauty, only for that purpose. And if we did that, that would be so exciting. Call it Trump care, call it whatever you want to call it, but anything but Obamacare. Obamacare is a disaster, just like he was as a president.
It's a disaster, just like he was as a president. Now, you'll remember, before Trump even announced, while Obama was president, he was constantly telling him, listen, as a business owner, I'm telling you, if the government gets involved, it will become more affordable. And that's exactly what happened. And who has benefited from this? I showed you guys yesterday. I mean, they're up over 1,000% on United Healthcare. And yet your coverage has gotten worse. Your life has become more expensive. It's harder than ever to get a claim filed. It's harder to get the actual medical care that you need. So Trump is right. It would become expensive and it would be worse insurance. Now, that to me is a recipe for disaster. All right, this is my favorite part of tonight. Trump shared exactly why he was never willing to negotiate or cave to Chuck Schumer's crazy demands. Let me share this with you, and then you guys let me know what you think about what the president said here.
Any questions?
You mentioned the senators that are here, Mr. President. Do you personally approve of the deal that's happening right now on Capitol Hill to end the government?
Well, it depends what deal we're talking about. But if it's a deal I heard about, that's certainly, they want to change the deal a little bit. But I would say so. I think based on everything I'm hearing, they haven't changed anything. And we have support from enough Democrats. And we're going to be opening up our country. It's too bad it was closed, but we'll be opening up our country very quickly.
Mr. President, that deal does reverse the mass firings your administration put through during the shutdown. Did you sign off on that, and will you abide by that if this passes?
Well, I will be. I'll abide by the deal. The deal is very good. We're not going to be giving $1.5 trillion to people that came in from jails and from, the gangs and drug dealers and all of these others that they wanted to be given health care, which would have hurt our health care system. I hope that we're going to be able to have a health care where Lindsay and I were discussing it, Jim and I were discussing it, and Katie, we discussed it. We want a health care system where we pay the money to the people instead of the insurance companies. And I tell you, we're going to be working on that very hard over the next short period of time, where the people get the money. We're talking about trillions and trillions of dollars where the people get the money. Yes, please.
All right. So my favorite part of that was that he was never going to bow down to Chuck Schumer to give our hard-earned money to illegal immigrants. Like, think how much hundreds of billions of dollars has gone into these illegal immigrants, which the Democrats need in order to win elections. It is a total scam on all of us. All right, last story. Turning Point USA hosted Rob Schneider and Christian Frank Turek over at UC Berkeley. A giant fight broke out. I'm going to show that to you. And then I'm going to let you guys know right now, they're now investigating whether this was Antifa trying to infiltrate and cause problems so that they couldn't talk about religious freedom and freedom. Listen, watch this interaction.
Break it up! Break it up! Police! Break it up! Police! Break it up! Hey, white boy, break it up! You bleeding, bitch! Hey, white boy, you're bleeding, white boy! Hey, white boy, you're bleeding! Break it up! What happened? What happened, white boy? Relax. Take a deep breath. Relax. Relax. What happened, white boy? Hey, white boy, what the fuck happened?
Guys. You guys step back, please. You guys can film, but just.
Hey, you got cracked up.
All right, now there was a couple of fights. This was the main one. The guy bleeding out of his nose, he's actually the good guy. He was selling Charlie Kirk Freedom t-shirts. And then people started trying to steal them, knock over his cart, get in his face. And then as you saw right there, The people that are saying that white people are racist and that America's racist is literally laughing and holding a camera in his face while he's bleeding out of his face. Hey, white boy. Hey, white boy. I mean, there's just a lot of racial division. And they are now saying that they believe that Antifa was trying to break into the event, cause problems, stoke racial division. So sad. All right, let me know in the comments. Do you think the $2,000 stimulus checks will happen? Should they happen? Should they happen for the poorest among us? I don't need one. I donated mine during the lockdown. If I get one again, I'm just going to do the exact same thing. But let me know what you guys think. If you could, give this video a like, hit that subscribe button, stay amazing, and I will see you on the next video.